Not the tripod. Hey guys, it's me, Tazzy. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day and I hope you guys are ready for a new video. Today we are going to be talking about legal name changes, how I did mine, why it took so long, and some tips to help you guys get through it as smooth as possible. Before we start, however, I want to make a disclaimer. This isn't only for people who are trans and gendered over as humans. This is also for people who might have gotten married and want to change their name, might have gotten divorced and might want to change it back, or just generally people who want to change their name for whatever reason possible that there is. But basically, let us dive straight on in. Okay guys, we are going to start with my story about how I changed my legal name and why it took 5 months to do. Now, on the Births, Deaths and Marriages website, BDM, I'm going to be using that acronym quite a lot, so please get used to it. So on the BDM's website, it says 28 days, approximately, for it to get complete. Mine took 5 months. And there was some issues and key things that happened for why it took 5 months. But we're going to dive straight on into how I changed my name. So basically, start with, on the 14th of March this year, I put in my application to change my name. And it wasn't until mid-August that I got my actual real birth certificate back with my new name and everything. So it took 5 months, which is a long time for something to happen. And the reason this happened is a little bit on my behalf and a little bit on their side and just a little bit of just random shenanigans. I stuffed up my form. I did everything. I did all the details right. I did all that. And there's this last section at the very end of the online form that asks for a declaration. I thought this declaration was a witness, so I got my dad to witness it. Little did I know that declaration was actually you stating that you declare that everything's right. It's just because of the fact is they asked for a relationship to the person. And I'm just like, oh, so I have to put someone who's related to me to declare that I am who I am. Turns out if you're above 18, you don't need that to happen. You just need to declare you yourself is the human being. So I screwed that up straight off the bat. I had my dad declare it or witness it as I thought he was doing it. And the next day I'm like, oh, I got to change this. So I called them straight up, told them the issue. They're just like, it'll be fine. I'm like, happy days, fixed it straight off the bat, fine. It wasn't until about 2 months later that they requested copies of my birth certificate and the original, proof of photo identification, proof of operation in the community, and proof of current address. I photocopied all of these documents and sent them to the email that they had provided, plus a promise to come in eventually when I could to hand these documents in. So I went into the city, handed my documents in probably about 20 days later when I finally had the chance, got everything together. I went into the city, into Collins Street. It only took about 40 minutes to get done, which is pretty good considering I was expecting to be sitting in the waiting room for like 2-3 hours because that's how some of the phone conversations were. So pretty happy with that, and handed all the documents in. They said it was fine. They also made a note that I did screw up the declaration, but that was all fine as well. And we moved on. So about mid-June-ish, I logged on into the online website to check the process, or how long it was going to take. And it said cancelled. And I'm like, what? No. And I was thinking, what's going on? So that was on a weekend, so I had to wait till the Monday to call him. I was like, hi, for some reason this has been cancelled. Can you tell me why, what happened here? And the lady had no idea why it had been cancelled. I told her that I screwed up the declaration, but I told them at the start that wasn't an issue. And she looked through all the documents, and turns out when you declare, you have someone else written as the declaration, so I had my dad as, they sent an email to them and asked for a response from them. My dad didn't respond to the declaration because he didn't know. He probably just thought it was spam and just like deleted it like straight into the trash. So they cancelled it because of that. So yeah, that was fun. And I talked to the lady and she's like, it's okay. So what we'll do is we'll just, we'll escalate it to a group called the Container or something. I'm not quite sure. And they'll go through with it. They'll be back in 48 hours. They did not come back within 48 hours. A week later, I called back. I'm like, you guys said it was going to be 48 hours. It wasn't. And then someone else was like, it'll be 3 weeks. And I'm like, okay, fine. I can wait 3 weeks. Call back in about 3 weeks' time going, haven't heard anything. What's the go? And they're like, well, it's actually going to be another 3-week delay. And I'm like, oh God, seriously. So another 3 weeks goes by. And I finally get an email saying your birth certificate is on its way with the new name and everything, and within about 2-3 days afterwards, I got the actual certificate. So it was a long process, it was a tiring process, but we finally got there in the end. And throughout this entire thing, I learnt some really important lessons which I want to share with you guys. So the first tip I want to share with you guys is related to whether you do the electronic version or you do the paper copy. I chose the electronic because I'm out here in the sticks, in the bush, and I really didn't want to have to spend a bunch of time tracking down a justice of peace to witness the actual paper form before I hand it in, and it just seemed easier to do it online. However, if you do it online, make sure you read everything correct. Because like I've been explaining, I clearly didn't read the declaration part and thought it as a witness. So read everything carefully. That's the second one. Make sure that you have understood everything, you are understanding what they're asking for, everything is correct before you press OK and submit that button. So for me, I probably should have called them and been like, hey guys, so is it a declaration of myself or is it a declaration of someone else declaring that I am who I am? And do I need it if I'm over 18? So for people who are over 18, for adults, the declaration is for you. It's not for a parent, it's not for a guardian, it's not for a friend. It's for you to declare that everything you have stated is true and real. So yeah, just take that from me and don't do the same mistake. So the third thing I want to talk about is the reason required. Both documents, both online and paper, will ask for you to give you a reason on why you are submitting this change of name. For people getting married, they'll say, I'm getting married, I'm changing my last name to my partner's, or whatever. For people who are getting divorced, maybe they're changing back to their maiden name. For trans and gender diverse people, there's a little bit, I feel like there's a little bit of stigma around writing, I'm changing my name due to gender transition onto a legal document that's gonna go to a bunch of people that you've never met before. And for me, when I first saw that, I'm like, what do I do? Like, do I write that I'm changing my name because of gender transition? You can either really put in it's your preferred name, or you can put in that you're changing it due to gender transition. But what I learned from that is that just because you write gender transition doesn't change how long the process takes. It's just a reason that you've like actually put thought in this and you're not changing because you can, you know, it was a dare. You got drunk one night and your friends dared you to change your name. It's a real reason, and that you understand that you can only change your name like 3 times in your entire lifetime. So yeah, that is what that is all about. So if you don't feel comfortable saying it's due to gender transition, that's okay. Right, it's my preferred name, I go by it. Nothing, no biggie. Number 4 is about cost. You got to be prepared to fork out about $120 to make this legal, and be prepared that if your document does happen to be screwed up for whatever reason and you have to redo the application, you'll not get that $120 back, and you'll have to pay it again if you start the process again. So that's why reading everything carefully and understanding the cost is important. Number 5 is hand in your birth certificate in person. Don't mail it. Don't even try. There is always a possibility that your birth certificate may get lost in Australian postage world, and you'll have to do another request to get another birth certificate before you can actually change your name, and then again have to pay the cost again. So hand it in person. Go into Collins Street, give it in, or all things like that. Don't, mess around with possibly losing your birth certificate. It's not worth it. And at the same time, hand in all your documents. So I talked about previously, you need a proof of photo identification, proof of your current address, and proof of working in the community. Now for me, I brought in my driver's license, I did my Medicare card and my bank card, I did my student ID, and also my superannuation and my bank statement. So I brought in lots of copies, basically as backups, because if they refuse one, it's okay because you have another one to back up. You can bring one of each and go with that, but if you want to avoid having to get knocked back, having to come back and do a bunch of driving and everything to get back into the city to do it, or wherever you need to go for it, then just straight up bring as many copies as you can. And my last point is to be patient. The BDM website does say it'll take 28 days. But mine didn't take 28 days. It might take a couple of months. It might take 2 weeks. From what I've heard, Victoria, for some reason, is one of the slowest states to get this stuff done. Apparently Queensland's pretty fast. I've heard Western Australia is pretty fast. Just for some reason, Victoria's just super slow with this sort of stuff. So just be patient. And this patiency also comes across to any phone calls you make or any time you have to wait to get this stuff done. When I started my process, there was no callback procedures. Yeah? When I started out, you just basically sat on the phone for anywhere from, an hour to 4 hours waiting for someone to be like, it's your turn in the queue. So it's incredibly frustrating. But now that they've implemented the process of actually being able to leave your name, number, and the reason you're calling, so the callback procedure's great. And if you do miss the first one, they will call back again just later. Because I had one time, I had like 3 or 4 people call me back by accident. So it's not perfect, but they're trying, okay? They're trying. So be patient. I hope you guys have learned something from this. I hope this helps you have a smoother ride than I did in doing this process. Again, I'm not an expert. I don't work for the BDM. This is just from what I've experienced working with them to get this done. I do have my legal name change. I have finally changed a lot of my documents. If you guys want to know more about how I changed my documents, let me know in the comments down below and we can do maybe a part 2 of this. But basically, that is this entire video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope you guys have gotten something out of it. I will see you guys in the next video. If you like this video, slam that like button. It really is appreciated. Leave a comment down below. Have you changed your legal name? And if so, how long did it take? Did I just get really unlucky or something? And subscribe if you're new. My name's Taz and I am signing out. Peace guys, have a wonderful day. Stay savvy. Choose your ways. Choose the best possible way. Choose the best possible way. Choose the best possible way. It's incredibly frustrating, but now that they've implemented? The first thing is I stuffed up my form. I did the online form. There's 2 forms you can do. It's online or electronic, but I did the online form. Online or electronic? Sorry, online or paper. Water.